On the women's side, Baylor takes down Duke. Number 7 Duke, 58-52. It was the first time that a Big 12 team has beat an AP top 10 opponent in their season opener since 2009. And it was the first time a current Big 12 member has done it since 2005, which was also Baylor when they beat Georgia. What does that say about Baylor and the women's basketball side of things in terms of their preseason poll, who we expect to be really good?
Yeah, I mean, I think aside from the New Orleans game, you had some close calls. You know, ultimately, like, the biggest takeaway that I had from last night's games were were you talking about the women's side? I'm sorry.
Baylor women. Like,
got it.
Are they the
I thought you were talking about the
now?
Baylor men for a moment. I was going to say the biggest takeaway that I had from the men's side of games last night was the freshmen, more than anything. But, yeah, I mean, look, Nikki Collins been in a tough spot since she took the job because the standard at Baylor is so absurd.
Yeah, she took over for Nick Saban, basically.
Right. And so, like, you take over a program that has won multiple national championships, and, I mean, that's just a tough standard to uphold. I mean, they'd won everything Big 12, it felt like, and were, constantly preseason expectations to win national championships. And Baylor's been very good. They just haven't been competing towards, winning national championships as they were under Kim Mulkey. So I think this is the type of win that can get them there because, I mean, you look at the scores from last night, like, women's basketball is so lopsided.
K-State won 100-35.
I mean, Oklahoma State 109-48 over New Orleans. I mean, West Virginia 83-47. So that's the standard in women's college basketball. So, like, you've got to be one of the top 4 seeds. There's just rarely upsets. And, I mean, basically, like, unless you're a top 4 seed or one of the top 2 seeds, it feels like it's really hard to break through and make it through. So I think that's what Baylor's goal has to be. I think it's what Iowa State's goal has to be. I think if you think you're a national championship type team out of the Big 12 on the women's side, you've got to be one of the top 4 seeds because you want to avoid playing the behemoths until the Final Four. Mm-hmm. You want to control your own destiny by beating up on the lesser teams in the tournament because there's just rarely upsets, unlike the men's tournament, which has tons of upsets. There's way less parity in women's college basketball.
That was a marquee signature win for a Baylor team that really got hot towards the end of last season. Didn't go as deep as they would have liked in the NCAA tournament, but a lot of that had to do with an injury and a not 100% healthy Little Page Bugs for that Baylor team.
Yeah, and here's Talia Scott, who came over as a transfer guard, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in her debut. I mean, the expectations for Talia Scott were high. Here's what Talia Scott said following this win for Baylor in France.
It gives us so much confidence to come out here. First game of the season, first game we really played together besides the scrimmage, right? And so being able to come out here and see that this is a product that we could put on the floor, and it's the first game of the season, we can only get better from here.
The other thing is, it's first game, you're a transfer. We think about, like, Haley Van Lith last year and how much, the offense was built around her strengths. Here's what Talia Scott said similarly about what Baylor has done here.
Yeah, all credit to my teammates and to Coach Nikki. I think Coach Nikki did a really great job of getting us into actions that we would be successful in. And then credit to my team. I think everybody played their role amazing tonight. I think if you were the one to screen, Kyla, Bugs, all of them were setting great screens. Our post setting great screens. Jana was getting the ball to me in the perfect spots. Right, it was just a team effort, and it all started defensively. I think we came out, set the tone defensively, and we got good stuff on offense.
And Baylor women remind me offensively of the BYU men, just in terms of the way they space the floor, very guard-oriented, even though they do have quality bigs. I mentioned Little Page Bugs. But the way they space it, the way they shoot it. And with that said, last night, they were 3 for 15 from 3 and still beat a top 10 team in Duke 58-52. So that tells me that they were locked in defensively. And also, to your point about Coach Collins, she deserves a tremendous amount of credit because Baylor won the second half. Like, they were down at halftime. They outscored Duke 14-10 in the third quarter, and then they held Duke to 9 points in the fourth quarter. Like, they were the better conditioned team. They were the more physical team. They won the rebounding 51-40, so they had a huge advantage there. They had 20 offensive rebounds. Like a lot of that comes down to your physicality, grit, hustle, and they only led for 10 minutes the entire game. Like Duke actually led 26 minutes in this contest, and it was tied for the remaining 4. So that to me, I think you could make a case that even after just one game, like Baylor, you could argue, is in the conversation to be the new favorite in the Big 12 on the women's side because they were that close to TCU last year. And granted, we don't know much about TCU yet other than they're super talented. But Baylor, I should say, looks the part.
Well, and now they come home and play again Sunday. Luckily, it's against Lindenwood. But, I mean, it's a quick turnaround, right, to play overseas and then come back and have to play another basketball game. This isn't like traveling across the country. This is traveling across countries. So I'm with you. Impressive win and a great showcase for the conference to start the women's basketball season where there's just so many games that are 85-36. Iowa State beat St. Thomas 85-36. Oklahoma State beat New Orleans 109-48. K-State beat Omaha 100-35. So what a showcase for this conference on a night when you just don't have very many competitive games.
Why do you think it is that way? Is it because the talent level just isn't as deep when it comes to women's basketball, and there just aren't that many of
I think
6'2", 6'3" post players that can handle and can get up and down the floor?
Yeah, I think they're hoarding more of the best players at the top programs. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Baylor, the first Big 12 team to beat a top 10 team in their season opener since 2009. History was made last night. Big 12 football talk coming up next. I'm James. This is the Big 12 Conference. This is a different league.